Oh, good afternoon. Welcome, folks, to another episode of 162 Times, your daily baseball recap and preview show. I thought I'd already recorded this episode, but my phone didn't actually record it, so we're going to do it again, which is always my favorite thing. I did have a gigantic sneeze at one point in the initial recording, so you don't have to suffer through that now. So count yourselves lucky. It's a nice Saturday afternoon. Yesterday featured a great round of golf from yours truly, but I couldn't do the math, so I thought I shot an 80, which would have been a personal best. Like, get out of here, 80. But I added it up wrong, so it was actually only an 83, but it's still really good. Anyway, so that was a bit funny, but I'm still feeling pretty good about that. And I also tweeted last night that it was a horse poop loss for the Mariners and that people would hear about it today. So you will hear about it, but I'm going to try and be kind of sanguine about it. They lost to the Miami Marlins last night. We're going to talk about that. We're going to tee up the game that starts in a couple hours here, game 2 of 3. And then we'll do the scores from Friday night around the majors, of course. Should be a good episode, so I hope you're ready to listen to all of that. It was a bad loss. It was a bad loss because they didn't get enough runs. They wasted a decent pitching performance. And they got walked off in 10 innings by a terrible team. Now, they're still a professional baseball team in the major leagues, the Miami Marlins. So there's no shame in losing to, a professional baseball team. But it's just the kind of thing where it would be nice if these victories came and they were able to, help out their pitchers. So overall, what happened last night? Well, it was a 3-2 Miami Marlins victory in 10 innings. The win takes Miami to 26-49, dead last in the National League East. Seattle Mariners dropped to 44-34 with the loss. They are still first in the American League West. Overall, Seattle had 7 hits for 2 runs. Seattle had 6 hits for 2 runs. Miami had 7 hits for 3 runs. Nobody committed any errors. The starters were not involved in the decisions. It was Anthony Bender for the Marlins getting the victory. He's 2-2 with a 5.08 ERA now. Austin Voth lost for the Mariners, 2-1, 3.03 ERA on the season. In terms of the starting pitching for the winning team, it was Trevor DeJaniel Rogers. He went 6 1/3, 4 hits, 2 runs. Both of them earned 1 walk, gave up 5 Ks, no homers. On the Seattle side of things, it was George Kirby. Gorgeous George. He had a great outing. 7 innings pitched, 5 hits, 2 runs only, 5 Ks, no walks as usual. Those 2 home runs came off 2 solo home runs that he gave up in the 6th inning, and he didn't get any other run support. He went 85 pitches over 7 innings. Like, every inning it was basically just like, 5th inning, okay, 49 pitches. 6th inning, 60 pitches. Like, he was a perfect pace for the whole thing. Rogers had 90 pitches in his start. Seattle bullpen was okay. Stanek did the 8th, 2 Ks. Munoz did the 9th, 1 hit, nothing else. Voth did the 10th, and he gave up a single hit that scored the winning run. That was it. Didn't get an out. The Miami bullpen was decent. It was Brazoban, Nardi, Fauché, Scott, and Bender. And Nardi gave up 2 hits, but that was it. Otherwise, there was no hits or runs, and there was just 1 walk. Overall, Miami managed to strike out the Mariners 10 times, and the Mariners managed to strike out Miami also 10 times. So, interesting. In terms of the scoring, it started in the top of the first. It was Mitch Garver, sac fly, scoring J.P. Crawford. Top of second, Ryan Bliss, triple, scoring Ty France. 2-0 after 2. But bottom of 6, Brian De La Cruz took a pretty good fastball. Maybe it was a little out over the plate. Hammered it 400 feet for a solo home run, 2-1 Miami. Next batter up, Josh Bell. Basically the same damn thing. 2-2, just like that in the blink of an eye. Bit deflating, and there was no offensive retaliation from the Mariners, which was unfortunate. And then bottom of 10, it was Tim Anderson singling. He smacked one into left field. Jake Berger was the ghost runner on second. He's a big boy, not a fast guy. He rumbled home. Dom Canzone came up throwing from left. He threw it right on line. but Cal couldn't quite pick it up and make the tag. He probably would have been out if Cal had fielded it cleanly. But that's the way she goes. It raised a lot of talk about the fact that, Cal doesn't get a lot of time off and that he's pretty beaten up. I think somebody was on MLB Network talking about, how hard he works and how hurt he is sometimes. And one of the things the Mariners did recently was they sent down Sebi Zavala, the backup catcher, because they wanted to keep Tyler Locklear in Seattle because he's been playing so well at first base. But the problem with that is you don't have a backup catcher anymore. You have Mitch Garver, but if he's catching, Cal kind of has to DH, unless they're going to give Cal a day off, let Mitch catch, and have Locklear DH, which would be an interesting thing to see. I mean, I trust manager Service to do a good job with his player personnel decisions, but we can't have Cal falling apart because his offensive production hasn't necessarily been there either. And I don't know, some people are suggesting maybe that's due to the fact that he's a little beat up and tired from all the innings, all the innings that he plays. I mean, taking a pounding behind the plate, just catching, foul tips, whatever. It's a tough position, right? So anyway, food for thought, but it might be nice for the Mariners to go out and sign or trade for a serviceable backup catcher who can, maybe take 15% of the games, 20% of the games remaining in the calendar away from Cal. I think that would be cool. Well, we'll do it all again tonight. So at 4:10 Eastern, it's Game 2 of the series. It'll be coming to you from Lone Depot Park in Miami. And it'll feature Logan Gilbert, who is 4-4 this season. He's got a 2.93 ERA, a .93 WHIP, 93 Ks in about as many innings. He's a horse, one of the best starting pitchers in the majors. He'll be going up against, Sean Anderson, who just got called up basically to make either a spot start or the beginning of a bullpen game. Anderson is 0-1 this year with a 10.13 ERA and only 4 Ks. So I don't totally know what's going on there for the Marlins, but this is a game where basically the Marlins are they're rolling out a guy with a terrible ERA who's not really a starting pitcher. So it sounds like a bullpen game to me. So let's go and feast on these guys and back Logan up today. Seattle, please. Seattle's got this as a lineup. So it's J.P. Crawford leading off, playing short. Josh Rojas batting second, playing third. Ty France batting third, playing first. Cal behind the plate and batting cleanup. Mitch Garver DHing, batting fifth. Luke Raley center field, batting sixth. Dom Canzone in right, batting seventh. Dylan Moore in left, batting eighth. And Ryan Bliss at second base, batting ninth. The big omission is no Julio Rodriguez in the lineup to start tonight. Not sure if that's because he's hurt or just getting a day off. On Miami's side, it'll be Jazz Chisholm Jr. playing center field, leading off. Brian Dela Cruz, left field, batting second. Josh Bell, first base, batting third. Jesus Sanchez, right field, batting cleanup. Tim Anderson at short, batting fifth. Otto Lopez, second base, batting sixth. Nick Gordon, DHing, batting seventh. Emmanuel Rivera, batting eighth and playing third. And Nick Fortes behind the plate, batting ninth. So, should be a good one. At 4:10 Eastern, maybe a bit nerve-wracking. Miami is a professional ball club. The Mariners need to treat them as such. Miami has won a bunch of games recently at home. They're not great, obviously, but they're still a professional baseball team. So take it seriously, put up some runs, and we should be fine. In terms of how the scoring went on Friday, it was an interesting day. So Texas was playing Kansas City, and they won 6-2. Not great for the Mariners. The Astros are hosting the Baltimore Orioles. The Orioles just came off a big series in New York against the Yankees. Maybe a bit of an emotional lunch bag letdown for them. They let the Astros get out to a 14-2 lead. They ended up making it 14-11, your final score. But nonetheless, the Astros did emerge victorious in that one. So that's not great for the Mariners. Elsewhere around the league, the New York Mets 11, Chicago Cubs 1, Tampa Bay Rays 10, Pittsburgh Pirates 3, Arizona Diamondbacks 5, Philadelphia Phillies 4, Chicago White Sox 1, Detroit Tigers 2, Atlanta Braves 8, New York Yankees 1, Boston Red Sox 2, Cincinnati Reds 5, Cleveland Guardians 7, Toronto Blue Jays 1. Cleveland is a wagon. Washington Nationals 11, Colorado Rockies 5, Oakland Athletics 6, Minnesota Twins 5. That's good for the Mariners. LA Dodgers lost to the LA Angels 3-2 in 10 innings in the LA Dodgers home stadium. Good for the Angels. And finally, the San Diego Padres were 9-5 winners over the Milwaukee Brewers. So all in all, interesting. I think the Mariners remain about 8 games up in the American League West. And we'll hope for bigger and better things tonight. So please tune in, and we'll check in with you tomorrow. Bye-bye.